Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Ektar Solo Heroes of the Storm cast. We've got another B East matchup between Durotan's Couch, the away team, and Boogan Squad, the home team. Boogan Squad are already in a good spot for playoffs. Durotan's Couch really needs to pick up a couple points here to make their playoff contentions happen. Unfortunately for them, they did lose the coin toss, and Boogan Squad opted for first pick, as basically every team has done so far this season. Durotan's Couch banned out, I should remember but don't, they banned out Brax's Holdout and Alterac Pass, with Boogan Squad banning out Towers of Doom and Tomb of the Spider Queen. So for map number 1, we are going to Dragonshire, as chosen by Durotan's Couch. I think this is a really weird pickup for them, because they don't have a lot of history on this map. They've played Dragonshire exactly one time this season, and they lost on it. So I'm not exactly sure what prompted them to go with that pick over one of their other more comfortable maps, maybe like a Volskaya or something. But I don't know, I guess we're going to find out. They do, it bears mention, have an off-roster sub tonight. They are bringing in a substitute tank player in the form of FPS Nate, who I actually know pretty well. He's on my my normal team that we're not playing on this season. So look to see them participating in that role. They also don't have 7th Ace playing tonight, which is kind of their primary flex slash hypercarry player. So they're not fielding him, so there's not going to be any Maev or any Alarak, which I think puts a lot of the scary kill pressure off the table. And it's going to make it a little bit easier for Boogan Squad to deal with what they're going to be putting out here tonight. I guess that also does explain why we have to have an off-roster sub tonight, because normally the Couch has a pretty deep roster, so having to bring in an extra player is a little bit surprising from them. But yeah, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. Got to get all those games scheduled eventually. Also, it's worth noting that this is the first match I will be casting with the Nexus Anomaly. We are going to be getting into the draft here. The Nexus Anomaly for this map, Dragonshire, is Rain, so occasional 15% movement speed, and the AoE very similar to a Rhaegar Lightning Shield, plus movement speed on top of it. So I don't know how much either of these two teams have played on the PTR, but in theory, you could maybe get away with a little bit less wave clear on this map than you're used to, because you're going to have all of that AoE on your whole team, and you can just step into the wave and clear it a lot faster. So maybe teams are going to look to put a little less priority onto the Johanna, who, in addition to being a great tank, is also phenomenal wave clear, and maybe look into putting some more CC or a more survivable tank instead. They did make changes to the anomalies such that they're a little bit more predictable, although the Rain in particular is less predictable, because it's, I believe, every 25 to 45 seconds it happens during its 2-minute period. So it's not wholly predictable. It is the least predictable of the three, in my opinion. But we'll look to see how much of an impact, if at all, that ends up having on this game. So far we have Falstad and Cassia getting banned out, which... Ooh, black screen. I understand the problem there. Thank you for bringing it up, Soln. Let's go. Let's check that out. I believe it should be good in 45 seconds, Soln. If it's not, please let me know. Yeah, we had a patch today, and patches always screw with my client, and I thought I got it worked out, but I guess that is not the case. Falstad is nice on this map. The global allows you to do a lot of rotatey stuff, so getting that on out of here. And Cassia is just incredible right now, and I'm pretty sure she didn't get nerfed during this last patch. So yeah, Cassia still incredible. Gym Rainer and Imperius are target bans. Boogan Squad play more Gym Rainer than they play any other hero, and Imperius is, I believe, their most played offlaner. Actually, it's Sonya. Sonya, the most played offlaner, but Imperius right on up there, and I guess they just have deemed that a bigger threat overall. Tassadar getting picked up by non-champion. I think Tassadar is a fantastic hero. He does a lot of good work. Didn't get touched in the last patch, and he's been doing just fantastic things basically since his buff after his rework. And he just He doesn't have the most versatile kit, but if he's got follow-on CC with the wall, and he just puts out chonky damage numbers. So, I love a Tassadar pickup. The Rhaegar getting picked up by Wildcard is great for a lot of reasons. Like, Bloodlust has been one of the most impactful abilities in the game recently, and picking it up that early, honestly, it's not even that bad. Like, you can counter Bloodlust, but it's hard, and it forces your opponents to have to deal with it. And also, Tassadar with Archon and Bloodlust is a stupid good combination. Like, one of the problems with Archon is that you're a little bit stuck in one place. Yeah, you've got the slow and your auto attacks, but you can't really chase people down as Tassadar. Suddenly with Bloodlust, you can chase people down as Tassadar, and that is terrifying. Rexxar getting banned out is very smart, coming out from Boogan squad. I don't actually know if Calculated Throw run a Rexxar, but he's incredible on this map, so getting that out of here is really good value, especially because Captain Wedge was going to be picking up a solo lane in this round anyway. Going in for the Ragnaros, I think that's one of Wedge's particular heroes. Like, I don't think Rag is great, but I think Captain Wedge really enjoys playing Rag. And Jaina is just, you know, a pretty standard mage. In my opinion, not quite as good as Kael'thas unless you can really combo into her damage, but I've seen Gohan do really good work with the rings on Jaina, so I believe in it. On the other side, we do have Camp Bellows picking up Phoenix and Tom Peace picking up Zool. Zool, presumably for the off lane, though you can put Phoenix there as well, and Zool can also be run in the 4-man. So I'd expect Zool to be in the top lane. He fights a little stronger on point than Phoenix does, but I mean, if you're having trouble with one, you can just rotate the other out. And Gokwe picking up the Sylvanas. I love Sylvanas. I think she's criminally undervalued in how strong she is, so I like to see her getting picked up here, especially on a map where you have a strong pushing objective. Sylvanas just really amplifies that value. Plus, with a lot of rotating going around, you can get a lot of opportunity to just get some value with Sylph Trait. Alrighty. And as is always important, we need to check out Portrait Synergy. Both teams got it on lockdown. Even FPS Nate, the off-roster sub, making sure to slam that Durotan's Couch portrait down so everyone is in matching order. Alrighty. For anyone who is maybe unfamiliar, Mei will be banned out for the entirety of the remaining NGS season. So not even the regular season, but also the entirety of playoffs. So you will not see Mei in an NGS match until Season 10. Although I suppose there's probably going to be some off-season events where you might be able to find her as well. Alrighty, if you're out there, let me know in chat who you think has the better draft. Because I run a single monitor setup, I'm not going to be able to set up an actual poll to find out, but tell me who you're rooting for, which team you want to see make it into the playoffs. Not that this match solely determines who does or doesn't get into playoffs, but Durotan's Couch are not in the top 8 right now, and they're really looking to pick up some points here to make that happen. But we have now spawning on the left-hand side in the blue trunks, the home team Boogan squad, with Thundercats playing the Stukov, Bummernot playing ETC, Non-Champion playing the Tassadar, Tom Peace on Zool, and Camp Bellas playing Phoenix. And on the right side, in the red trunks, we have Durotan's Couch with Gohan playing Jaina, Gokwe playing Sylvanas, Captain Wedge on Ragnaros, Wildcard on Rhaegar, and FPS Nate riding that Cerberus on Johanna. Sorry. We do have the start of E-Build coming out from Ragnaros, which I believe is pretty much standard. We've got stacking Ws for Sylv, which I don't see most of the time. Normally I see the Qs getting picked up on one, outside of Brawls anyway. What a weird rotation coming out here, looking to try and get, maybe snipe that top well. Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. They're going to snipe out the top well, and now we see Durotan's Couch going to try and rotate up onto that and maybe punish them for that. Gokwe is really far forward. We do have the first anomaly coming out, giving that movement speed. It gives even movement speed to everyone on both teams, so you can't really use it to chase down more easily, but it does amplify your wave clear. Look how fast that died. So not quite getting the full well snipe, but really nothing lost on either side either. Looks like one minion was lost in the bottom lane for Boogan squad. Bit of a fight attempt coming out really from both teams, but not finding the crowd control from Durotan's couch. We got the lightning shields coming out again, and look how fast it clears those waves, man. When the lightning's up, it's just a lot of additional damage coming out. But because of the changes, the anomaly has come up in 2-minute increments, so the first 2 minutes of the game are going to have the lightning going on and off every 25 to 45 seconds, and then for the 2 to 4 minute period, it will be off, and then it will keep going every 2 minutes thereafter, switching sides. They do have Phoenix in the top lane, so Ragnaros is very likely going to be able to stand on point pretty well most of the time. But Phoenix might be able to poke Ragnaros out over time eventually. So looking at it, it's actually because it starts at the very beginning of the game, it's basically going to be on the minute 30 marks. So 3:30 or so is going to be when the anomaly is going to be coming up next. We do have Gokwe popping Soul Trait just to get, you know, a little bit of damage into that front wall. They don't even get the full tower, but again, that's just the power you have with Sylvanas, is you can kind of just get incremental damage there. Welcome, DB Smiley. This is a pretty big match. It has very big playoff implications. I believe it's very impactful for seeding for Boogan squad, and this is one of the only 2 matches remaining that Durotan's couch need to try and get themselves into playoffs, so very important match. We do have the top Bruiser camp getting picked up. Campbell is trying to chase Captain Wedge on all the way out of there. I don't know if he has tap available, but if not, probably going to have to pull back. And the objective is available for the side of Boogan squad. Wildcard trying to get bottom back, but ETC is a little too hard to push off of the point. We do have Tassadar in the Q quest, which is the most standard build that you see these days, who do have a little bit of damage coming out onto the Rhaegar there, popping his own lightning shield. But neither team really going to find anything on the first objective, and with that top rotation coming out from Sylvanas is going to make it back to neutral overall. Although this bottom camp getting picked up, there's just a little bit more camp pressure coming out from the side of Boogan squad, and I don't think that Durotan's couch have really been able to do anything to try and match that. They're down now 2 Bruiser camps, it looks like. Gohan did Q-check it, but probably isn't going to try and run at it. No, and the Force Wall is going to stop them even from making the attempt. We do have in the mid lane, Zool is going to be stopping Captain Wedge from actually trying to secure this objective, even though it is in the red favor. Ooh, not quite hitting out with that blast wave there. Even popping the, I believe, Shady has a level 1. Ooh, no, it is the backlash, so able to get that extra damage on there. Captain Wedge is trying to find some stuff, going fully into that E-build. In the bot lane, we do have Durotan's couch fighting to hold control of this point. Sylvanas did fall in the top lane to that Phoenix, so he'll be able to flip the objective, and bottom is getting flipped as well. We see Tom Peace already in position to try and get this channel immediately, and no one's going to be able to stop him. Captain Wedge was rotating towards the top lane, and that is first objective going over in favor of Boogan squad. Level 7s are in now for both teams. We do have Captain Wedge popping the Rag Fort maybe a little bit early. Yeah, because that top piece is just going to say, you know what, that's all we're going to get in the mid lane, and now you don't have your Rag Fort anymore, so we're going to go and try to put damage into top lane. Finish out on this well that we tried to get so early in the game. And, yeah, they're actually doing a pretty nice job of splitting. This objective is almost dead, but they've been soaking the lanes pretty decently. I don't know if anyone out there didn't play on the PTR, but you can actually see that the XP globes got a little bit of a visual update. They are brighter and shinier than they were previously, but you still can't tell which team they belong to just by looking, unfortunately. Captain Wedge is going to come in here and finish out the DK, and that is it for the first objective of the game. Wedge looking for something, but definitely not finding it. ETC finds Wedge, though. We got a bit of a slow coming out from the Stukov, and the Unstoppable comes out, is going to get him out of there. Stukov did pop trait there to try and get that extra damage onto Wedge. Campbella's didn't work. Worked in, is very low. You see the pings coming out onto him, and that is going to be first blood for Durotan's couch. They did give up that kill much earlier, but bringing it back to even is pretty nicely done by them. Tom Peace was brought down very low. Syl does pop the Banshees to try and get that extra damage, and I believe they went Banshees on 7. Yeah, so going to be able to stack a lot faster from now on using those Banshees. It's 5:28 was when the lightning and the rain came back, so it looks like it's just basically at the at the odd 30s coming out there. So shiny. I like them. I think they're really pretty now. Got some damage coming out onto Gokwe, trying to get, just again, a little bit more damage into those towers. We've got the level 10s now for Boogan Squad, but it's going to be very shortly followed up by their opponents. We do have the Massive Shove, Poison Nova, Mosh Pit, and Still Holding for the rest. Actually have Ancestral coming out, which is not wholly unexpected based on the team comp, but it's definitely not. Ooh, stepping out just a little bit too far, and the Lurking Arm is going to spell doom for Sylvanas, just poking her head out a bit too far, probably trying to get some extra stacks. We have actually not Archon. We've got the Black Hole coming out from Castor and Still Holding. Pretty big Mosh coming out from ETC, but it's going to get stopped almost immediately by Johanna. Really well done by FPS Nate there. Still Holding from Phoenix. On the other side, we do have the Blessed Shield, which we did just see get used right there. Ancestral, as mentioned, Water Elemental, so not going to be able to get those ring combos, Lava Waved like we saw, and Wailing Arrow. A little bit of Engage coming out on Tom Piece. Maybe could have gotten a kill if Blessed Shield was available, but it was still on cooldown. So just a lot of damage going into Zool instead. Non-Champion's in a bit of a rough spot, though. He is going to get engaged upon wild cards there. Bummer not there as well. Oh, we've got the Lightning Shield coming out, actually putting some pretty good damage in there. Probably didn't make the difference on that kill, but did make it go a lot faster. And Bummernaut is now getting double lightning shielded by Wildcard, and look how much extra damage that is. Like, he should be healthier than that, but you know, that's what we get in Heroes, 3.5 or whatever we're in now. Sylvanas does take bot just about the same time Phoenix takes top, so no one's gonna be able to get an objective channel off of those kills or all that excess damage done, but both teams still very even in this game. We do have a very slight XP lead on the side of Durotan's Couch, but nothing that you can really write home about. Thank you so much, Alto420, for the follow. I really appreciate it. Tompies goes in, checks his bush, gets about half his health chunked out, pops the Poison Nova as ETC gets the slide onto Sylvanas, and she gets taken out. Wildcard gets brought down very low. The Self-Ancestral is going to keep him topped off. But that kill means bottom objective is going to go back in favor of Boogan Squad, and that will bring us, once again, neutral overall. Neither team going to be able to get the channel on there. Thank you so much, Alto, for redeeming your absolutely nothings. Really appreciate it. We've got a Camp Invade coming out from Boogan Squad. Really nicely done by Thundercats. Gohan is going to get scouted out by the Weighted Pustule from Stukov. Stukov looks like he's definitely going to be going into that route on level 13, which they're getting picked up just now. A little bit of damage coming out there trying to claim that camp. I like this play coming in and just sniping out the well. They couldn't actually get the entirety of the force, so you know what, let's just get this well. Huge damage coming in. Big stun coming out from Nate with that kill down. The disengage actually really good coming out with the Black Hole. We have the kills out onto Sylvanas and Ragnaros, but followed very shortly by ETC as well. And I think that the health bars are maybe just a little bit too low on the side of Boogan Squad to try and make this happen, especially without Phoenix being here. They get the kill, bringing them 2 for 2 onto Tompiece. But luckily Phoenix has been soaking this whole time, so really well done by them. Slight advantage in their favor because they've been able to soak that extra XP. These weather changes, welcome to Hot's Arcade. You know, this is probably the wildest of the three in my opinion. It's the least predictable because they still happen at random increments, but you know what? As a spectator, it makes things a little bit more interesting. As a player, I'm probably going to hate it, but you know what? I've only got one match left for the season if we don't make playoffs, so I'm okay with it. You're welcome so much for casting. I really enjoy it, otherwise I wouldn't keep doing it. We do have the objective technically available, but is going to get flipped in the top lane for Durotan's Couch. And once again, just Boogan Squad maintaining their mercenary advantage this whole game. Boogan Squad have really not been keeping up in the objective, or in the camps, basically at all. FPS Nate goes in. He does, looks like he's maybe trying to get a subdue clear, but takes a lot of damage. Is going to get rooted. He does pop the shield to try and get out of there. The D-shield isn't available. Ancestral is going to keep him nice and topped off, but I would like to see them try to disengage. This is a 4 versus 4. They went out, and I think that if you're Durotan's Couch, you're lucky that you didn't trade over a kill there. You did have to trade out a pair of ultimates, actually a trio of ultimates, which definitely favors Boogan Squad for the next minute or so. FPS Nate stepping in kind of aggressively. Bummernaut sees it, but Rag's now in the bottom lane, so it's a 5 versus 4, and they're definitely not going to try and take that fight. They being Boogan Squad. If Durotan's Couch could have gotten the opportunity, they would definitely take that fight. But definitely not going to Not going to let that fight happen. We do actually have them rotating to try and take this bottom camp for the first time. We do have the Oracle coming out. So trying to find out where the members of Durotan's couch are. We do have Silk Trait getting popped. Gohan does come back now to try and make this into an even fight. Rag popping Lava Wave in the top lane to push Phoenix back as well as to try and get that damage in. Mosh goes on short cooldown as it was stopped by the Condemn there. Rag gets brought down to about half health. They put some damage into this fort, but, you know, not a whole heck of a lot of value found there. But they got all of the XP in the top lane because of Lava Wave, so it doesn't really cost them a whole lot for having done that. We got another engage here. Bummernaut taking a huge amount of damage between Sylv and Jaina, and they're going to go down really fast. The Black Hole came up from non-champion to just disengage to make sure they didn't trade out any further kills, but really scary situation to be in without your ETC there. FPS Nate is heading into the mid lane. Looks like they're just going to try and catch out on that XP. Silk Trait does come out and putting damage in there. Still not going to be able to find this bottom fort, however. We did have a kill go out onto Ragnaros. FPS Nate trying to find a counter kill onto Camp Bella's. Warp does get shut down by Condemn, and likely not going to be able to do anything too much extra from that. Nate is going to try and flip top over. I don't know if Camp Bella's is going to let this happen. We do have the anomaly coming out, and that's putting extra damage into both players, and FPS Nate is going to get dueled in the top lane. Camp Bella's is really putting in the work this game, just kind of killing people left and right in the top lane. Objective is now available in the mid lane for Boogan squad. They got Bummernaut in there. They know that Durotan's couch are going to try and make a defense here. Bummernaut getting hit pretty hard with that, with the dagger coming out from Sylvanas there. Timepiece is trying to get the channel. Gokwe gets walled out by non-champion, and that is going to be the Dragonite going over in favor of Boogan squad. One thing I never checked on the PTR is, do heroic vehicles get these global map effects? I don't actually know, so we'll find out in the next-ish 20 seconds or so. We got Phoenix split off into the top lane, so they're definitely going to get that top fort in addition to all the damage being done on the rest of the map. Lava Wave is going to push Phoenix back for a little bit. I don't see the shield around the DK, so I don't believe that he gets that. Thundercats is getting engaged upon by FPS Nate, who does pop D-shield so they can get back safely behind their own wall. Phoenix is still trying to do damage in the top lane. It looks like they're still going to be able to get that, just trading out shield value for damage into the fort, and that is going to be the first fort of the game going down in the top lane in favor of Boogan squad. They're trying to find if they can get some damage into the bot fort, but with the DK down at 15% health, they're really not going to be able to get very much extra value out of that. Yeah, everyone's trying to honorably duel the Phoenix, except, you know, Phoenix keeps winning the honor duels. Phoenix is a very honorable Protoss hero after all, so I'm not terribly surprised at that state of events. Captain Wedge coming with a pretty gnarly flank. They don't actually find any crowd control onto their opponents, so it doesn't really amount to anything. They did force out the Black Hole. We do have, Blessed Shield comes out as well. Bummernaut is looking for a mosh pit, finds it onto 2. The cleanse comes out, but Gohan isn't able to fully get out of there before the cleanse gets, before the duration runs out. So a lot of R buttons being pushed on both sides, but not finding any kills for either side. So good defense coming out from the side of Durotan's couch, but, you know, just as good of a disengage coming out from their opponents. Really well done. I think probably Sylvanas could honor duel Phoenix, but I don't know if anyone else on Durotan's couch can try to make that fight. Bot camp is getting picked up for the side of the Boogan squad. It looks like this has been sniffed out by Durotan's couch, and they're looking to make an engagement happen here. It's going to be a full 5 versus 5. Nate gets in really deep. Gets the Condemn out onto Several. There's no mosh pit available. We've got the Planet card coming out, hitting out onto Several. And Several comes out and keeps Jaina topped off. First kill goes out onto Stukov. Second onto Johanna. Third onto Ragnaros and Sylvanas. Bummernaut's very low. Gohan, however, is going to get forced out and destroyed. And that is 4-1 going over in favor of Boogan squad. And that means this fort is definitely going to fall. Luckily for Durotan's couch, there's no objective up right now. Camp Bellas is chasing out into this. As a reminder, they did have tower changes as well, so the front walls no longer prioritize targeting onto heroes. Only the main buildings of the fort keep and core do that. So really well done. And actually going to try and take out this bottom keep as well. I'd be very surprised if they tried to end. You know what? I wouldn't actually even be that surprised. They are up level 20s. We're going to go and see those real fast. And it's still 10 seconds until people start coming in here. So definitely going to try and get some core damage in. Durotan's couch definitely has the opportunity to try and make a defense here. Campbella is actually getting jumped on pretty hard by Wildcard, who is going to get chunked out really hard and get blown up as well. Lava Wave immediately popped to try and deal damage and stop the minions from coming in here. Tompiece is going to get blown up, as well as the Phoenix. Gokwe trying to chase people down. He gets the Wailing Arrow. We got the second Lava Wave coming out, which is going to do a ton of damage onto both Bombernaut and non-champion. Bombernaut, double digits hit point, is going to get brought down. The peeling Death Mosh is going to mean that Stukov is able to get on out of there, but really good core defense coming out from the side of Durotan's couch, and that'll be their opportunity to get an objective and a lot of counter damage as well, because it's more than 30 seconds before most of the members of Boogan squad are going to be back up and available. Looks like the play is to go through the bottom lane. Gokwe maybe not having Sylph Trait available, maybe wanting to save it for the keep. Gohan, he's just going to step in there, take a couple of core shots. Also, the armor only scales up to 20 armor cut instead of the 40 from the previous patch. So a lot less defensive capabilities than even just yesterday. So look to see them be look to see these teams being a little bit more aggressive under the buildings than they were in the past. We do have Rhaegar coming in just now. He's not there yet, but this DK is still at 85% health. Ragfort is going to get popped. Just the extra siege damage. Gokwe is going to get rooted, but pops the Unstoppable from the, wow, Will of the Forsaken, but a ton of damage coming out from Phoenix, from Tassadar there. The Dragonite is got down pretty low. It's about 50% on the core. FPS Mate trying to get the damage, and Wildcard and Wedge are in there as well, and a very close first game number 1 is going to go in favor of Durotan's couch. Ragnaros kind of sinking in there a little bit, not sure what that was about. You know, after having seen the way that this game plays out, Jordamax, I have to agree it was not worth it for Boogan Squad, as that is game number 1, again, going over in favor of Durotan's couch. Checking out some of the map summary screen items. Tassadar, chonky damage boy. Sylvanas the next closest, but, you know, not especially close. 13,000 is still quite a bit of difference. Wildcard actually really out-healing the Stukov, which I find a bit surprising. Stukov has a lot of potential heal throughput, and he definitely, you know, he took some good healing talents, so I'm not really sure what was going on there, but really well done by both teams. I never actually called out all of the 20s. We did have the Force Barrier coming out from non-champions, so not opting to go into the Kugelblitz. We saw the second Lava Surge. Storm Shield probably was popped at some point, and Radiating Faith, that stunning all 5 members of the enemy team, as well as having the stun go to the full duration for all heroes, is pretty big. I'm going to send out that message to Tompiece, find out if Boogan Squad want map or hero going into game number 2. Alright, got confirmation that Boogan Squad are going to opt for for first pick going into game number 2, which mirrors their choice going into game number 1, so map pick once again goes over in favor of Durotan's couch. As a reminder, the map bans were Brax's Holdout, Towers of Doom, Alterac Pass, and Tomb of the Spider Queen, so where do I think Durotan's couch are going to want to go for game number 2? Let's check their previously played maps. Tomb of the Spider Queen is their highest win rate map, which is banned against them, so really smart ban for Boogan Squad. The next highest are all at 50%, but the most games played are on Cursed Hollow, so I think that's where I'm looking to see them go for game number 2, but we shall see. I see that Wedge is in a lobby. I'm going to go ahead and just join off of him because we're friends like that. And it's Battlefield of Eternity, which is one of their other 50% win rate maps. Yeah, what is the anomaly for this map? Battlefield of Eternity is fog. Oh, I hate the fog. So, if anyone is unfamiliar, the anomaly of fog, if you stand in a bush while the fog is active, you go stealthed. If you continue standing still, you can go full invisible, and you can do that anywhere on the map. So, really scary objective. This is the only one that wasn't nerfed in any way from PTR. I did verify you can, in fact, still go full invis, so there are a lot of scary potentials. Like, you can just have a full invisible Diablo or Garrosh just standing in the middle of Battlefield of Eternity. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how these teams try to use this anomaly. How are 5 maps banned? I don't believe 5 maps are banned. Ban. Oh, wow. Let's go and clear the maps. That is a bit of a bug with the software, so we're going to go ahead and clear that and replace the bans. So, Boogan Squad banned out Towers of Doom. Yeah, and Tomb of the Spider Queen. Durotan's Couch banned out Brax's Holdout, and they banned out Alterac Pass. Map number 1 was on Dragonshire, which was picked by Durotan's Couch and won by them. Map number 2 is Battlefield of Eternity, picked by Durotan's Couch. Winner to be determined. There we go. Ban. Alrighty. Give him the old caster R, let him know that we are good to go. Thank you, San Diego Blood Bank, for mailing me again, even though I literally donated blood like 2 hours ago. But they don't know that yet, so. Yeah, I'm really surprised that they kept the opportunity to go full invis. I was expecting them to nerf that and just make it be stealthed, without the ability to go full invis if you stand still, but you know what? It's gonna be an interesting week or 3 of testing before Blizz come back with any additional changes that they're looking for. Caster favoritism, yeah, and it's funny that you say that. The person that I'm actually good friends with on Durotan's Couch is in fact not playing today, so shrug. Captain Wedge asking about that Phoenix, can we not please? Smiley face and heart. Yeah, Phoenix kind of wrecking everybody in the top lane. It was genuinely impressive. It was really well played by Camp Bellas, and I would not be terribly surprised to see a Phoenix getting banned out. Ooh, we do have Ace in the Nexus now. I wonder if that means if he will be playing in subsequent games in this series. We're going to go ahead and find out, because as DB Smiley mentioned, caster bias. Oh man. So like I mentioned that I did donate blood today, and in response my girlfriend said, okay, I'll take out and defrost a steak for dinner. That's incredible. I would donate all the time if I could just get a steak for it. American Red Cross, get on it. I cannot read that name. Oh, that's Camp Bellas. Welcome, Camp Bellas. That yellow is impossible to read on my phone. Not 100% sure what we're waiting on. Oh, Tom P said 1 minute, so that's what we're waiting on. So compared to the first map, the top lane is a lot less important. So if they lose, and by they I mean Durotan's Couch, if they end up losing in the top lane to Camp Bellas routinely, like they kind of did in the first map, then it's a little bit less impactful than on the previous one, as long as they don't start taking huge amounts of building damage. So I think this might be a smart pickup coming out from Durotan's Couch. Also, hat non-champion, please. It's not me. There's also the point of Boogan Squad was a lot faster at picking up camps than their opponents, and this map only has 2 camps per side, and it's a lot more regimented on when you generally want to go and take those camps. So you might even say that Boogan Squad are, or rather Durotan's Couch, are shoring up their own shortcomings by picking this map in particular. I think it's the more I think about it, the more I think it's a smart pickup from them. If Durotan's Couch gets the 2-0, they jump from 7th to 10th. Not bad. That isn't bad, and they still have another match to play after that. I don't know who it's against or how likely they are to pick up points in that series, but they have the theoretical opportunity to get, 6 points between 2 matches. That could jump them up quite a fair bit and really help to lock them into playoffs. Cassia getting banned out once again. I find that really interesting coming out from Boogan squad. They could not ban Cassia, at least until the second round, and try to force Durotan's Couch to ban Cassia for them. Because she is so strong these days that, everyone's picking first or banning Cassia. Why don't you let your opponents ban it out? But I guess they're just really making a statement. We don't have we don't have a Cassia player, so we're just going to get rid of it right away. The Jimmy getting banned out, I think is even better on this map. Again, it's the most played, I think, hero for the entirety of Boogan squad, so getting out of that comfort pick is really nice, but also he's phenomenal on this map with that Executioner. So I like that quite a bit. And banning out FPS Nate's Johanna, I think, is an interesting play here. Although this might not be a ban towards Nate and being a ban of, let's get one of the 2 tier 1 tanks out of the pool and just pick up the other one. So if they pick up an ETC here, that would be almost a pretty standard series of map bans these days. And they do respect the Phoenix getting that bad boy out of here. Don't want to lose the top lane, at least to a Phoenix. 6 points would lock them, but they can't get higher than 7th seed. You know what? Just getting locked would be really nice, though. And we do have the ETC getting picked up by Bummernaut, so very good 2020 meta style of bans and picks coming out. Ban out one of the 2 S tier tanks, pick up the other one with your first pick. I like it. But speaking of, S tier heroes, Bloodlust and Greymane. Can you name a more iconic combination? Yes, Abathur Illidan. But Rhaegar Greymane is pretty up there in 2020 Bloodlust meta, so I love to see those pickups here quite a bit. And now the onus is on Boogan squad. How do you deal with Bloodlust?
I'm not checking in.
I don't think that that's how you deal with Bloodlust necessarily. Ana can sleep one person, which if you get... she can sleep, in theory, all 5 people if they're in a perfect line, but that's extraordinarily unlikely. So Ana can peel a little bit. She can stop a little bit of the engage. Sylvanas, you get the Wailing Arrow, which is nice. However, that doesn't stop people from auto-attacking, and that's where a lot of the power from Bloodlust comes in. Like, you get the self-healing on auto-attacks. So I don't think that that's enough anti-Bloodlust, and look to see them picking that up in some regard in their healer. We do have the Imperius getting banned out again, so really targeting the off-lane are Durotan's Couch, really trying to make non-champion or Camp Bellas, respectively, I guess, play something different. Actually, it might be Tompies. Yeah, we'll find out. We do have the Garrosh getting banned out, not wanting to deal with fully invisible Garrosh standing in the middle of the map, and to be fair, who can blame you? But I don't know that FPS Nate plays Garrosh almost at all. I would not be surprised to see Muradin getting picked up by Nate, just because I play with Nate quite frequently, and once ETC and Johanna go away, that tends to be his go-to. Li Ming getting picked up here is great for this map. She doesn't really Bloodlust very well, but she pokes extraordinarily well. And there it is, the FPS Nate Muradin special. Very nicely done. I love it when I can get a call right. It makes me feel like I know what I'm doing. So let's now see what Tompies and non-champion have to pick up here. They need a healer. No, they don't. They definitely don't need a healer. They need a damage dealer and an offlaner. Probably. They could, in theory, run Sylvanas up there, but I'd be really surprised if they chose to do that. So they get the Chromie, which I think is great. They like to run Chromie, and they have a pretty good success rate with her. And the Arthas is really their anti-Bloodlust tech, because you can get that Frozen Tempest for slowing of the move speed, and you can talent into slowing attack speed as well. Arthas hasn't been particularly meta in a while, but, A lot of teams are trying to counter Bloodlust in different ways. I haven't seen Arthas be employed in that regard, but I see the logic there. I get what they want from Arthas here. And picking up the Leoric, he'll do well against Arthas in the top lane. I think he brings a little bit less into team fights than maybe some of the other bruisers. I would actually really love a Sonya in this team comp because, you know, Leap with Bloodlust or Wrath of the Berserker with Bloodlust are both phenomenal. But if you go into Mithril Mace on 16, you can really start pumping out some pretty dang fast and chunky auto attacks from that Leoric, so kind of feel like non-champ was leaning towards Chromie this draft. Muradin changes it. Never mind, they picked it anyways. Yeah, I like the Chromie pickup. It's I like the Chromie pickup until level 20. We'll say that. Because with both the Chromie and the Ana and the double beefy front line, you can really stand pretty far back, and the onus is going to be on Durotan's couch to run at them really hard. And, you know, when Bloodlust lasts 8 seconds, there's a pretty good chance that the power of Arthas and ETC can stop Durotan's couch from running at them really hard. But when Bloodlust becomes 16 seconds, there is nothing in the game that will stop you, will stop the Bloodlust from running at you before it runs out. It's a bonkers amount of time on that level 20 upgrade. And it's part of the reason that Rhaegar is so strong right now. Like, even double suppression pulse from Artanis doesn't even come close to hitting it. But we'll see. Muradin's gonna have a gay old time this time chasing gnomes. I'm sorry, Jordomax, but there are no gnomes in Heroes of the Storm. There are dragons, however. Chromie's a dragon. Never forget that. I still want them to add Gilblin Mechatork as a gnome hero. I think that would be pretty cool. And it would be a nice kind of foil to Gazlo in some kind of a mech form, perhaps. But once again, we have spawning on the left-hand side in the blue trunks, the losers of game number 1, looking to bring us to a game number 3. They are the Boogan squad, with Bummerknot playing ETC, Non-Champion playing Chromie, Thundercats playing Ana, Camp Bella's playing Sylvanas, and in the top lane we have Tom Peace on Arthas. And on the right-hand side, in the red trunks, the winners of game number 1, hoping not to go to a game number 3, are Durotan's Couch with Wildcard on Rhaegar, Captain Wedge, Dance canceling on Leoric, FPS Nate showing off that taunt on Muradin, Gokoi playing the Greymane, and finally Gohan on that Li-Ming. Got the GLHFs coming out in the chat. Both teams looking to have a good time here. Neither team opting for the immediate stealth. Although Nate coming in with the Lightning Shield, putting a lot of damage into Bummerknot, who is brought down to like 20% hit points immediately. Camp Bellas get brought down really low as well. Both teams looking to try and go stealth, but, you know, finding it in a really weird way. Although we do have 5 in the bot lane, so I'm not terribly surprised to see that immediate aggression coming out for the side of Durotan's Couch. Bummerknot just getting chunked out here. We do have the rotation into the top lane from Leo to make sure they don't miss out on any of that XP. Looking at the level 1s, we do have the standard Q coming out from Chromie. We have stacking again from Sylvanas, E-build from Ana. Both we have the Arthas block and block party coming out from ETC, so that's an additional attempt to counter that Bloodlust style. Legally cannot co-cast, that is correct, Ace. You would have to leave your team and then come on and co-cast with me, unfortunately. More damage coming out onto the ETC, just taking a lot of pain early in this game here. In the top lane, we do have Captain Wedge rotating on here, actually getting some pretty decent damage into Tom Peace already, but neither of those two are going to be able to hurt each other particularly badly. A little bit of a camp attempt coming up from the side of Durotan's Couch, but they're lower than their opponents. Bummerknot is in a pretty good spot. Gokoi is really low, taking out some damage, and is just kind of going to fight until he dies. FPS Nate pretty low as well, is able to whoop on out of there, but that is the first camp going over in favor of Boogan squad. Wildcard is going to pull back. Nate going to let that second wind get him topped off as well as the tap. Does not have third wind to keep himself topped up even more, but does have the increased damage coming out on those storm bolts. Are we dropping frames here, or is that just me? Let's look real fast, as this teamfight isn't the most interesting teamfight in the world. Oh boy. Easy. There we go. I'm not seeing a ton of frames dropped right now, but maybe it's a recent development. Anywho, I refreshed, that helped a lot. Cool. Nate is actually pretty low again. Has already tapped. Not going to have it available for the objective because he did a little after the minute mark. Non-champion taking quite a bit of poke right there from the Gohan orb, but is just going to pull back here. We do have the objectives now spawning. There we go. 30-second warning. Camp is being taken by Goku and FPS Nate. I would like them to just hold on to that and not immediately cap it. Their compatriots on the left-hand side are doing very similarly, slightly slower, but will actually get capped at a bit of a better time, I think. We do have the Bruiser getting picked up immediately, so it's going to be in the top lane right at about the time that the Immortal starts coming down. So it's possible non-champion and Timepiece are going to stay here just to clear that out. Camp Bella is actually taking a lot of time with Thundercats. Does not have Mercenary Queens, so it's going to take them a little bit longer to get that actually cleared out. We do see Chromie and Arthur staying in the top lane to try and clear out that Bruiser camp. Big sleep coming up from Ana, hitting out into several people, but that is halftime going over in favor of Durotan's couch, and the first objective always spawns in aggressive race positions. Doesn't it? Yes, yes. Colors are hard. So we see the members of Boogan Squad trying to make a defense here. They have 5 people on the defense. This is where the Leeming value really comes in, though, because Gohan can just poke from this safe distance over here, and there's not a lot that Boogan Squad can do about it except for try to absorb the damage. We have Leo in the bot lane trying to clear out their opponent's bruisers, and that's the value that you get capping them a little bit later than your opponents. Non-champion actually stepping up to try and get the damage into Gohan. Sylve's gone back to race, but again, no Mercenary Queen means her race isn't actually that good. And Gohan is likely going to be able to poke this out before Sylvanas is able to get the damage in here. Captain Wedge comes up now, makes it into a 5 versus 4. Wildcard does pop the healing totem. We've got Camp Bella's coming back in to try and make this into an even fight. It is a 5 versus 4. We got the stun coming out onto Goku. 47 health is going to be able to get on out of there. Captain Wedge not quite so lucky, however. But with only 3,000 health left on the Immortal, I'm wondering if Gohan is going to be able to poke this out the rest of the way. Does miss, or rather hits the orb onto Timepiece. And there's actually some pretty decent race coming out from the Sylvanas now. The FPS Nate looking to try and get something in. We do have the Chromie's time trap coming out and the follow-on root hitting on Wildcard. Nate is stepping in. He does have the full Q, so 350 bonus damage out onto the non-heroic targets. And that is going to be the first objective going over in favor of Durotan's couch with about half a shield left, a little bit more. Chromie and Sylvanas are on equal amounts of stacks. I think that's really actually good for Chromie. Getting 39 stacks already is going to have it during this objective phase almost for sure, and that's going to mean that she can get those extra hits out at, I believe it's 50% damage. Doesn't actually say, and I don't feel like clicking on Chromie herself to find out. We do have the 7s out in for both sides. We've got the same build coming out from Wildcards we had in the previous game, going into the partial lightning shield build, but going into the healing totem on 4. We got Skullcrusher coming out from FPS Nate, which is an interesting pickup. First objective is gonna, it's come and gone. It gets the entirety of the front wall, and they get half the well, which does not provide half the healing. It provides the whole value, so not a ton of value coming out. We do have the fog now, so FPS Nate was full invis, but non-champion is gonna find him with that Q. And both teams just kind of playing around invisibly, seeing if they can get something done here. Bummernot is full invis there, seeing if they can scout out that camp. Gohan doesn't see that, but is going to find him with the Q. Bummernot gets the slide, but no real value to be found from either side at this point. And this is so weird, guys. Just watching both teams play in bushes even more than normal. I think it's really interesting. We do have a rotation coming down from Captain Wedge. He is going to go stealth and try to make a fight happen. Having the stealth maybe makes it a little bit harder to identify how many people are here because you can't quite as easily see who's here. But with that rotation down from Captain Wedge, that is likely going to be this camp going over in favor of Durotan's couch, and this has not and will not rotate down. Yeah. Wedge is going to have to try and creep on out of there. Going to start missing out a little bit of XP in the top lane. Not going to be able to pick up that orb, but we'll probably be able to pick up all of the rest of them. So not a ton of XP being lost, but it's enough to provide about a third of a level lead in favor of Boogan Squad. They will have 10s during this objective, but not before it. Chromie does have the Slowing Sands, not opting to go into the temporal for their heroic. FPS Nate looking to try and just get this clear here. And both teams are taking their bruiser camps. Again, slightly earlier for the side of Durotan's couch. I think in this time it works out because the objective is already spawned. However, with it being in defensive positions, both teams have a very good chance of just letting the other team close out the bruiser camp. Tompies gets engaged upon in a big way. And with that kill, Durotan's couch actually have 10, very slightly faster than their opponents. They might be able to try to make a play 5 versus 4 on this objective. We've got the 10s, which are Entomb, Wave of Force, Bloodlust as expected, Avatar Form, and To Be Determined from Greyman on the other side. We have the Syndragosa coming out there, which is another Bloodlust counter attempt. Mosh Pit, Wailing Arrow, and Nano Boost, which, I mean, come on, we never see Eye of Horus anymore. Halftime going very in favor of Durotan's couch. They do have Wedge in the bot lane clearing, so it's going to be difficult for them to try and get this objective here. Bombernaut is definitely stepping forward. He wants to find a juicy mosh during this 5 versus 4 period, and Durotan's couch just kind of have to not give it to him. We do have no one attempting to be aggressive right now. We get a big damage out onto FPS Nate, is barely able to get out of there with the power of the cleanse and the Avatar Form. Greymane's actually going to start taking this camp, which is a... Actually, I really like this call. With as defensive as Boogan squad are being right now, they can kind of just rotate a hero out to take this camp, especially because Greymane takes this camp very fast. And Captain Wedge can see that there's no one even attempting to race for the side of Boogan squad. Boogan squad's defense is maybe playing a little bit against them, as sure, their opponents aren't getting any objective progress, but they're getting camps. They're picking up bot lane XP and just letting themselves get a little bit behind it in XP. Nate takes a fair bit of damage from the Chromie there. Bloodlust does come out right now, and they're putting the damage into Tompies to try to jump onto Camp Bella as the Entomb, not really hitting out onto Tompies, but working enough as a wall, preventing him from disengaging to the south. Gets a lot of damage, but not finding out any kills there. And I think that has to very clearly go in favor of Boogan squad, not losing anyone to the Bloodlust engage and not losing out the objective either. Tompies with 35 hit points. Bombernaut hitting... a little bit of one of those zoning mosh pits, not finding anyone in the actual stun. But with only Leo going down, there is actually the opportunity for Durotan's couch to try and re-engage onto this objective. Sylvanas is trying to start the race a little bit. FPS Nate maybe going to find her? Not quite. We do have Captain Wedge. Looks like they spawned immediately around the members of Boogan squad and got blown up very fast. They're able to find a counter kill out onto Sylvanas, but a counter kill going into Murden and a 3 or 4 times counter kill going out into Arthas. Just kills going out all over the place. Goplay is very low, but not going to be able to, is going to be able to get out of there. Gohan doesn't have the mana bar necessary to try and chunk the rest of this objective out, and Captain Wedge coming in again, gets slept by the Ana, but coming in again with that full health and mana bar is going to make the second objective and an almost full shield immortal going over in favor of Durotan's couch. Oh boy. Really well done trading out death time for effective value on the Leoric there. We do have Sylvanas disconnected a little bit, and there is the pause coming out. Perfect. Gives me a little bit of time to drink some water. So, checking out on the state of the game as things are right now, we did have the Go for the Throat getting picked up. Campbell seems to have disconnected. He seems to have died. Hopefully that's a little facetious. There is a good lane pushing the bot lane, but Captain Wedge is going to be able to come down and pick up that XP, which will get them most of the way to level 13, especially once they pick up this lane in the top as well. So they're going to have a big advantage going into this objective. It looks like they're going to try and make a 5-person defense in the top lane for Boogan squad. So they might try to make a play when the Immortal gets low, or maybe even run past the Immortal and try and make a play. Go for the Throat is the only ultimate that's going to be down for the side of Durotan's couch, and it's good, but it's not a critical heroic. Really, Entomb for your pick potential and Bloodlust are the real showstoppers for Durotan's couch. And most of the counters for Bloodlust are currently down. Syndragosa and Mosh Pit chiefly among them, down for 20 and 56 seconds respectively. Slowing Sands sounds like a good counter, but it's not actually that great, and I'm going to talk about why until Camp Bella's gets back. Summon a Sand Vortex that slows enemies by 7% every quarter of a second, up to 70%. that up to 70% sounds nice, but, you know, the first quarter second that you step in, you're only slowed by 7%, then 14%, then 21%, etc., because that's how counting works. But with Bloodlust, it gives you 35% movement speed, so it's going to take 1.25 seconds standing in the slowing sands to even get slowed back to baseline movement speed. And with that extra movement speed, you're basically through slowing sands so fast that you get out of it without ever going below 100% movement speed. And so it's, I don't think, going to get maybe quite the value that they're hoping for in that regard. Canadian internet is fine. Someone tell Camp Bellows to get fiber. It's, you know, maybe not available in their area. You don't know. I thought Durotan's couch was supposed to be... Oh, I thought Disconnect was supposed to be my team's thing. So, little known fact about the couch. They actually played a game last season on Infernal Shrines where they ended up winning with an AI Gul'dan. I think that was Wedge who disconnected there, but I can't quite remember. So, you know what? We got time. We're going to ask it in the chat. Not only did it happen, it happened twice. Fantastic. Oh boy. I guess since we still have some time, we can go ahead and check out some of the damage numbers coming out here. Not particularly impressive for most of the members of Durotan's couch. Li-Ming really leading the charge for their team, but Chromie really hitting out on the damage there. 41,000, dwarfing Li-Ming's 32,000, but I mean, they're winning in kills, and they're winning in damage, and, let's see, roll 26,000. They're not winning in healing, but it's pretty close. Oh, it was Gohan. Wedge was on Vikings. That's right. That's right. That was a fun game. That was a lot of fun to cast TLV on Infernal Shrines. And this was last season, so you know TLV had no teamfight capabilities. It was a wild game to watch. If you're looking to go back down memory lane, definitely check out that game if you're able to find it. It was cast on this channel, so I don't cast that many games, so you can probably find it relatively easily. We don't talk about me playing TLV. Who is this Gohan you're talking about? You know what? My microphone's in the way, Gohan, and makes it more difficult to type than it normally would. Gonna go ahead and bone up on my NGS rules real fast, because although casters are not rules arbiters, I mean, I'm on the rules committee, I'm also a moderator, so I probably count for both in this instance. So we're gonna just find out how many minutes people have to disconnect during a disconnect, rather. Disconnects and pauses. 10 minutes. There we go. 10 minutes per match per team. DC was at about 9:25 Eastern time, so we've been here for about 5 minutes. Gohan says 37 minutes, 45 seconds. I don't know if he's being facetious or not, but you know, we've definitely got a little bit of time remaining. TLV has like the 6th highest win rate in the game at the moment. Yeah, I'm never going to trust TLV win rates because their low popularity means they could have any win rate between 40 and 60, and I wouldn't be terribly surprised. Non-champion dropping the Spooky Worm. Wedge with the Dino Spin. That is one of my favorite combos as well. Since I wasn't allowed to share my puns about the last ban in NGS, anyone want to hear my jokes? Alright, we're about to be subjected to Goku's jokes. Possibly. He might be a little gun-shy now with all the viewers watching. Actually, we've got the Camp Bellows saying that they are okay and good to go. Wait, where the hell am I and who are you people? Nate, come on now. You've been here for like 45 minutes. You know where you're at. You're probably fine. Alright, we've got the readies from both teams. So we're going to get the 3 and the 2 and the 1 and the pause. Not a whole lot was happening at the time, so that's not too bad for either team. Going to go ahead and bring the talents up real fast and hide them just as fast because no team is particularly close to having anything funny happen. They do have the Immortal spawning in the top lane. 13 is going to be here very shortly for the side of Durotan's couch, at which point we'll bring talents back because that's a pretty impactful talents here. FPS Nate stepping in, and again the the Forcing Keeps don't provide anywhere near as much of a armor cut as they did just yesterday, so again, watch to see these teams being more aggressive than they have been in the past. They got the nice sidewall there, so they can try and step in and be a little more aggressive. They do have the shield ripped off of the Immortal. 13's coming in now for the side of the couch. You do have the Spooky Walk talents coming out from Leo, so not going into the Spectral Leech. They're probably not going to be going into the Mithril Mace as well, but maybe they'll just pick up that one talent. They taking quite a bit of damage. Is going to whoop on out of there, and that is keep getting brought down to half. Goku not able to commit hard enough to get the well there. He's looking for 1, maybe 2 more autos to finish that boy out, and Bummerknot really doesn't want that to happen. Nate's going to step in, and that is going to be the well going down. Campbell is trying to push him back with the Banshees, and he's going to get some good stacks off for it. They pop Bloodlust exclusively to get the keep down. Nate steps in, gets a Stormbolt, which is going to get them an extra stack on that level 1. But, yeah, I think propping Bloodlust for just the keep there is actually good enough value. It's a smart play by them. They're not going to likely have another big team fight for the next 70 seconds, so smart pop by them. They do see that their opponents are probably not stepping out through top lane, so they get the top camp basically for free, and they're soaking the bottom lane as well. Checking out the 13s. On the other side, we do have, as said before, the Frozen Wastes quest. And after getting that, they get the movement and attack speed slows for extra time. And the Biting Cold increases the damage done by it. I think on 16 you can make it so that it even freezes people and roots them in place if you keep them in for long enough. We do have the full Calamity build coming out from Li Ming. We've got the Nexus Anomaly once again, so all the heroes around are stealth. Gohan is full invis, and then Bummerknot is just stealthed around, so was Captain Wedge. We do have the bot camp getting picked up by Goku and Wildcard. And Bloodlust is 20 seconds off, so right at about the time this objective is coming up, they'll have Bloodlust available to make another teamfight happen. Wedge and Gohan going in to take this camp on for the Bruisers. It's still 3 minutes until their opponent's camp is going to be available. So definitely a nice advantage going over in favor of the couch going into this objective. Their opponents are just going to have to try and clear out the bottom lane here. And they do just that, but someone is going to have to do some stuff in the top lane. Obviously, there's not a keep to worry about going down, but it could put pressure into their core. Campbella's was in a bit of a rough spot. Thundercat's actually getting caught up on Wildcard and Nate. A really solid pickup coming off at the start of this objective means that they should have a very easy time getting this into halftime. And considering that the camp is already in the defensive position, this is going very well for Durotan's couch as they find and engage into Bummerknot, who finds a counter mosh heading out onto 4 people. And that is going to be a very fast triple kill. FPS Nate popping the Avatar might get him out of here, but it looks like it probably won't even do that. Yep, with that stun coming out from the ETC, that is going to be a 4-0 in favor of Durotan's couch. Goku was able to get the objective into halftime, but There's almost certainly going to be enough of a defense from Boogan squads that Gokwe should not be able to finish out the objective by himself. Captain Wedge is spooking out onto Tompies, coming back for a little bit of an early res. Might take some damage here from the Arthas and the ETC, and Thundercats missing the follow-on with the E. Does pop the Spooky Walk just to try and do some damage cut, but maybe taking a little bit extra damage for having done so. Checking out the... Camp Bellows has left the game again, unfortunately for them, right as Durotan's couch are coming back up again. And there we have the pause coming out from non-champion. There we go. We've got the time this time. So... teams are allowed a total of 10 minutes per team per match, so not a whole lot of additional wiggle room for Camp Bellows and the side of Boogan Squad. That feel when you entomb an ETC and then jam the door with 4 people. Yeah, ETC is not the one that you really want to have in there. Alright, we've got the ready coming out from them. Ask if the couch is ready as well. Alright. 3, 2, 1. Pause. Captain Wedge. Yeah, he was going forward and started to walk backwards after the disconnect. That tends to be what you see from people. And as soon as the disconnect ends, they want to try to walk backwards. Captain Bell is getting put in the box. Captain Wedge is going to have to run away. Tompies is pretty low, however. Fighting under the red Immortal. It hasn't gotten any particularly good value yet. Gokwe is going to get killed by the Silt damage over time. And just barely not finding out that kill out of the Tompies. FPS Nate is going to get on out of there. Captain Wedge is going to try and suck some life down. And Gohan's going to be able to get out as well. 6 teams were picked up during that fight. We got the active reload, which didn't used to be the standard talent and wasn't for a long time, but I see it in most games these days on Ana. It provides you that extra burst healing, which is really powerful on Ana, who doesn't have that really before 16. Chromie going into the shifting sands, so hitting consecutive Qs, giving that spell power. And aggressive shredding from ETC, going to be able to get more ease off, which it pairs well with their level 1, giving them extra block charges. Captain Wedge going up with the damage cut spook, just gonna reduce a little bit of that incoming damage, but almost certainly this top 4 is gonna go down. Silk Trait does get popped. Big root coming out, hitting out onto 2. Gokwe not taking a lot of damage. Captain Wedge and Nate both taking quite a bit of damage, however. And it's still 16 seconds until Bloodlust will be off cooldown, and let's face it, when you're playing with Rhaegar, that is your engage button. If that is down, you probably don't take much of an engage. Camp Bellow is getting disconnected a 3rd time. Let's see if they go for the pause. They do get... It looks like they just alt-click still to make a comeback into this team fight, not wanting to spend their last pause on this. We did have an Entomb coming out, hitting out into ETC. They have the Bloodlust available. The Mosh comes out, but it gets immediately interrupted, and Bummerknot is going to go down. Wedge gets silenced from the Wailing Arrow. FPS Nate is kind of low. There we have the engage coming out from the Bloodlust. They're going to find that kill out onto Tompies' Arthas. Sylvanas is pretty low. Gets caught, unfortunately, by non-champion. Thundercats is pretty low, but I don't know that Captain Wedge is going to be able to get any additional damage on her, so just a 2 for nothing. Asking if they have the ability to pause again, and there is the pause. Last pause for us, I guess, will DC again. We're going to Control F pause in the rules document. Where's that? Disconnects and pauses. Teams may pause a total of 3 times per game due to disconnects or technical issues. It doesn't say per team. But we do have a 3rd pause here. That's okay. Hopefully we're going to be able to get... Sylvanas' names are hard. Names are really hard. Camp Bellows. Hopefully we're going to be able to get Camp Bellows' internet sorted out. Gokwe offering some mozzarella sticks. I would love some mozzarella sticks. That's like one of my favorite foods. Because, I mean, what is there not to like about mozzarella sticks? It is cheese, and then they deep fry it. Oh my god, it's so amazing. I suppose if you're in the unfortunate chunk of population which can't consume dairy as an adult, I'm sorry. Mozzarella sticks are amazing. And I wish that you could have them. In fact, you should invest in maybe taking some lactase pills, which will allow you the delicious taste of cheese without all of the indigestion and gas. Lactase. Alright, it was, Oh, we got the ready coming out from Timepiece. Got the ready coming out from Captain Wedge. So we're going to get the 3, and the 2, and the 1, and the pause. Camp getting picked up pretty quickly for this, or Camp was getting looked at, rather, by Durotan's couch, but looking like they want to maybe just try to find a little bit more value than that. They're going to take their opponent's camp. There is a time trap on here, which is going to get killed by incidental AoE damage, and just a little bit of a sleep dart on there, really for the disruption and the 10% total health damage. Not a whole heck of a lot done, though. Mozzarella sticks are amazing, Lulu. I knew you were an individual in culture. Taking the bottom fort because it's free and they can, and not confident that they can just go in on the core, and I think that is absolutely the smart play for Durotan's couch. But with the full 5 people on defense, they can't really get any more value here as well. So Durotan's couch is just going to back up, probably try to take bottom camp here. They do go into the bottom camp. Fog is still available, so their opponents could go stealth and try to come in without showing on the minimap. But Durotan's couch take bottom camp, and they're looking at maybe taking top camp as well. Captain Wedge, he went stealth just long enough to go in and kill that singular minion breaking stealth. But you know what? It's a fancy play. We like fancy plays here. Gokwe is trying to take this camp. He's trying to be very safe while doing that. That's why you see him disengaging all the way back to this area. But does go in. It looks like he even pops Inner Beast to get that extra damage out, which means it won't be up for the start of this objective. But that's kind of okay. They do have a lot of camp pressure pushing in the top lane. Bot lane is going to get cleared up about the time this objective is coming in. And the objective is spawning in race positions, which is probably good for Boogan squad. Reason being, it can't be in race positions again after halftime, so there's a chance that it'll be in defensive positions, which is definitely what Boogan squad are going to want, so that they can put someone on the defense as well as have someone defend against this huge amount of camp pressure that's building. They're sending Chromie to deal with that. I wonder if maybe they would want Arthas to do that instead. We do have the full stealth engage coming in. Everyone except for Gokwe is stealth going into this. Bumbernot is a little bit far forward, is not getting stunned out. We've got the Bloodlust going in. It looks like it's just a Bloodlust to do burn damage on the Immortal for the most part. ETC sliding in, has the Mosh Pit available. It's out onto 3, but does get hit with the Wave of Force and gets out of there. Durotan's couch popped the Bloodlust. They haven't found anything with it yet. Wild Party gets cut down really low. Timepiece is low as well. There is the kill going out from the Go for the Throat. We do have another disconnect coming out from Sylvanas, who is trying to make her way out. It looks like there maybe, I can't tell if Sylvanas is DC'd or not. We do have Captain Wedge going in for an engage attempt. Does get slept and is going to get blown up as well. Yes, and that is going to be the objective going over in favor of Durotan's couch. I don't know what their plan is with the Sylv disconnect. I don't think physically they can pause again. I think they get limited after the first 3, although I think Durotan's couch paused again. Paused the 3rd time. So not 100% sure how that plays out, because it was Durotan's couch who paused during that 3rd one, so I think maybe they do have a pause available, but yeah, I'm not 100% sure exactly how that goes, just because the wording is a little bit bad in the rules document on that one. We do have the Immortal pushing through the bot lane with a very healthy shield still available, and we've got the members of Boogan squad very far back. Captain Wedge and Nate are very far forward. We've got the Entomb coming out, hitting it into Chromie, and gets blown up very fast. Wedge is spooking forward, trying to find something else, but without the Entomb, you know, I like Leo, but without Entomb, he's not the most impactful hero in the world. He just got a pretty sizable damage cut. While taking a lot of damage himself, the Immortal is still at 50% shield. We do have the Sylvanas popping Wheeling Arrow. Gets a lot of damage into Gokwe. Gets killed by the Syndragosa as well as Leoric. So a lot of damage being done, but the core is starting to fall. The Immortal is still pretty healthy. The Bloodlust gets popped as well. And that is going to be the 2-0 in favor of Durotan's couch. And if Chad's to be believed, that will push them up into 2nd place. GG and well played. Gotta feel a little bit bad for Boogan Squad with the multiple disconnect issues, but honestly, in game number 3, yes, the kills were in favor of Durotan's couch, but it never really felt like that. It felt like they were mostly in control of the game because they were able to get objectives earlier and get damage earlier, and a lot of these kills came after Durotan's couch got damaged, so even though they got more kills, it didn't feel like the members of Boogan Squad were able to get a lot of value off of the kills that they did get. Alrighty, but that is going to be the series. We're going to get a hold of Captain Wedge, see if we can get him on in here for a nice little interview. He has all kinds of permissions, so if he wanted to, he can just kind of hop into this channel. We don't even need to meet in a neutral one. Let's see if that ends up happening. I won't even know because we've got OBS and streamer mode, or streamer mode on for Discord, so I won't even hear the to-dos. Oh, there he is. He's in lobby 1. We're going to drag him down here real fast, actually. Oh, looks like Solon is joining him, so we're going to... I guess we're going to hop up in top lane and join the pair of them. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. Worked hard.
Did you actually, or are you being sarcastic?
He was coaching very well from the sidelines of Twitch chat. He was cheering very nicely.
It's true, he was definitely your loudest supporter, though you had a couple of others as well.
I'm guessing the only black cat.
Not today that I saw.
Oh, he abandoned us?
I mean, I didn't actually, like, put out the stream information anywhere. I just kind of hope that people show up because I'm a terrible streamer, so maybe they didn't see that it was going on. But Lulu was there, and Seventh Ace was there cheering for you as well, and then, you know, there were a couple of people cheering for both teams, it seemed like, but yeah, Solon was definitely not the only one.
Yeah, Solon was our grandpappy in chat, giving us all his good energy.
Wow. Yeah, and also, second guessing every decision that anybody made, you know?
That is my favorite thing to do in Twitch chat. Hey,
probably flaming my 7 deaths.
We do have the only black cat now in chat. They may have been here the whole time, but this is the first time I remember seeing them say anything.
Well, I mean, I am, even if I don't play, I am the most important member of the team. I just want everybody to know that. Just the energy that I bring. Anytime we win, it's because of me. Anytime we lose, it's because of anybody but me. Just saying.
Wedge. It's because of me.
Oh, mostly because of Wedge.
Such is the power of the Twitch chat grandmaster.
That's right.
Alright, so it has to be asked, how much, if any, attention did you pay to the current Nexus anomaly going into this series?
I may have yelled at people a couple times, get in the bush and become invisible, you stupid... Insert word here.
Whoa! I almost heard him swear for the first time ever.
You should hear him during the board meetings.
Oh,
yeah.
I can't imagine how those go.
You know, with Venus just being so tame and modest, someone has to, you know, be the colorful one in the group.
Yeah. Wedge really gets our blood boiling. Make sure we are passionate behind our decision making. Anywho, that's neither here nor there. So... yeah, telling people to get into bushes, but it didn't affect your map choices or anything?
Honestly, it was pretty much, okay, let's pick the map, and then, okay, now we picked the map, let's double check to see what the anomaly is for this map.
That's kind of what I would have figured at this point, because it is so very new.
Yeah. We messed around a lot with it last week, but even then, like, the only thing that we really felt that was very impactful was some niche scenarios with the lightning, where you could be, like, a bit more melee heavy. And then, the invisible is always nice.
Yeah.
Anytime you can get that, it's a bonus.
There was one opportunity where the ETC, Bummernaut, was just standing full invis next to a camp, and, who is it? Gohan walked up and went to go Q-check the bush, but he was literally standing right next to ETC, and barely, blinked back in time. He still got hit with the power slide, but That if you just stepped up a little bit farther, that could have been really scary.
That would have, yeah.
There's a lot of weird things where just the fact that tanks can go full invis anywhere on the map is so terrifying to me. And there's going to be a lot of plays of the game of just like advanced bush parties where instead of, standing 5 people in a bush, you stand 5 people in the middle of nowhere and hope to get a janky kill.
And just rip a raw mosh and hope for the best.
I'm going to rage so hard when it happens to me, but I'm going to laugh so hard when I'm observing it.
Oh, I am fully on board with it.
I'm going to be so cautious walking anywhere, ever. Like, anybody could be invisible anywhere? Is that really what this mechanic is? Oh
yes.
My god.
Because you go into a bush for, I think, 1.5 seconds or something really short, which puts you into stealth, and then you can walk stealthily to anywhere, and if you stop moving for another short period of time, it's 1.5 or 3, but you stop moving for that amount of time, and you go from stealth to full invis anytime that the fog is up. It's so terrifying to me.
Yeah, I don't like it. It is like a horror movie.
Alright, so for game number 1, you had map pick, and you chose Dragonshire, which I found profoundly fascinating, because you played that map once in NGS and you lost on it. So why Dragonshire for game number 1?
What the hell? What the hell?
It's just, I wanted to raise Solon's blood pressure a little bit.
Well, it sounds like it's working.
I don't know, D-Shire, we just wanted to mix things up a bit. We've always been playing the same maps. And it just felt like, okay, when we play this map, whenever it comes up in queue, we feel good on it. Why don't we just let's just roll with it and just start it out and let's see how it goes.
Okay, so it's a case of your practice sessions feeling better than your NGS games on this map?
More or less. Also, who was that one time that we played D-Shire? Who was that against, by the way?
You can find out in a sec.
I think that slipped my mind.
Do you want me to bring up your win rate on D-Shire? You want me to do that right now? Because I will.
I mean, Solon, you haven't been coming to our scrims. You haven't been seeing our win rate there.
It was against Tiny Dancers.
Yeah, so that's probably why. Tiny Dancers we still find to be the team where you've got the least room for error in this div. They do the best job of punishing, so. On that, yeah, if that was our first time bringing it up this season, I think this is probably a bit more indicative of how we like to play it.
Alright, and then you ended up going for an early pick Rhaegar, and then not going Bloodlust. I found that really weird in game number 1 as well. Is that just, let's pick Rhaegar because he's fantastic, and then you didn't draft a Bloodlust come up around it? Or how did that pan out?
Well, so to make up for picking D-Shire, we had to pick Rhaegar to lower Solon's blood pressure so it didn't get to the point where we had to risk calling the ambulance for him.
Right. I mean, because he is my one trick, and so I don't know how that would lower my blood pressure. Oh, let's pick Rhaegar when he isn't here.
Just so you have more confidence in it.
That's perfect, because then you can just sit there and go, oh, you did this badly. Oh, you should be taking this camp right now. Oh, you took that level 4 talent? Oh my god.
No, it's more like, oh man, I wish I knew how to do that. Oh, you did that better than I would have done it.
But tell me how game number 1 went for you all, because from my perspective, they were winning the first 90% of that game, and then they threw on your core.
So
is that how it felt for you, or did it feel closer to you guys?
It felt closer for everything but the Phoenix. The Phoenix is what just The ironic thing is we literally played a match as we're warming up tonight on Dragonshire where we were against a Phoenix in the solo lane, and it was carbon copy, exact same thing. Phoenix was the most miserable thing
so you
there,
and
I wasn't expecting
the top
to bring
lane,
that
and
out.
all 3 of them lost.
Yeah. There's just a rotating cast of characters in the top lane losing hard.
Yeah. Yeah, we did not respond to that how we should have. They did a really good job of punishing us for that, but we felt really good with how most of our team fights were going. So that's why, even when they were on core like that, we knew as soon as me being able to just barely spawn in time to get the lava wave out to scare them off because they didn't have their healer was all we needed to be able to at least live. And then somehow we managed to turn that into a 4-man wipe and then take that all the way to core.
Somehow was in large part due to second charge of lava wave.
Yeah.
Like, you got 2 kills off of that second lava wave. It was pretty incredible.
No,
I mean, when in doubt, always give it more, right?
Yeah. 2 is always better than 1.
I think Boogan Squad probably... I mean, I actually watched the game. I don't know about you, Wedge, but... and I think Boogan Squad probably played better overall. But they just stayed just that second too long on core, and they could have backed out with what they had, and they just got punished by that double lava wave. Like, 2 people died that didn't need to die. Just slows and everything.
Yeah, I would definitely say it was even in the 4-man, or slightly favoring them, but the Phoenix is just what tilted most of that game in their favor for sure.
Yeah, I definitely think you were a little bit lucky to come out of game number 1 with a win there, but going into map number 2, you had map pick again, and you went to Battlefield of Eternity this time. This is a map that you've played twice, and you have a 50% win rate on. So, what brings you to this map in particular?
I just didn't feel like shot calling much, you know?
You know, this is one of the easier maps to play from a macro perspective. There's 2 camps. If you get a kill in the bot lane, you take the bot camp. If you get a kill in the top lane, you take the top camp, and you take the other camp as the objective is spawning. So, I get it's an easy map to play.
That's what I was telling people exactly as we were warming up. Then we almost got we took almost all of ETC's health, almost all of Stealth's health, and well, great. Game just started. The camps aren't even up yet. We can't do this yet.
Yeah.
So we did it too early, so we had to hold off on that one. And then, if anything, Boogan Squad ended up beating us to the punch there when we tried to take the camp, and they just sniped our Grey Mane on the point. They did a good job getting that.
Yeah, for sure. And do you remember what the kill count was at the end of that game?
16-9 in favor of Boogan Squad.
That is
and I would like to take most credit for that by having 7 feet.
Yeah, you died a lot, but it's Leoric, so it's almost okay.
I'm still there. I'm still slowing them.
It's worth mentioning. You guys did really well with your macro plays in that game. Like, it was very often that a lane was getting pushed in. So yeah, they get a kill out into Leoric, but they have to rotate someone out into the lane now to deal with the minion pressure. So they don't have that much of an advantage, and your team was racing so very well that it was really hard for Boogan Squad to take an advantage with the kills that they got. They would get a kill, which would bring them even at best, is what it kind of felt like. I don't have a question. That's just kind of a statement. Do you have a response to that statement? As though it were a question.
I have a response. I think that, actually, we got to the objective on time, which isn't something we always do. So we would take we took the camp on time, and even earlier than they did. And you had even commented on this at one point, but there was 4 people around the aggressive objective, and they were burning immediately. And we got to halftime way quicker. And I think that sort of snowballed a lot of the map, and we got advantages out of that multiple times.
Yeah, that's definitely true. You're and plus you just had a much better racing team than your opponents did.
That's also true.
Almost every regard. Greymane, Murden with Q build, and Rhaegar put out a chonky amount of damage, and your opponents went into a beefy front line and a really good poke comp, but they had a lot of trouble transitioning that into value. And
I think Nate was the happiest person once we allowed him to go full Q build.
Nate was happy when you let him pick Muradin. He plays Johanna and ETC begrudgingly because he's good on them and they're good heroes, but if they're picked or banned away, Muradin's his go-to.
Yeah, we were very happy to have him be able to help us out tonight while our tank is away camping.
Ah.
Yeah, he decided that he values being out in the middle of the woods more than helping his team make it to playoffs.
Yeah.
How selfish is that?
I know, right?
I mean, what have the woods ever done for you personally?
I mean, I don't know. The Canadian woods are pretty good. A bit better than your American woods down south.
That's because 85% of your country is woods, if not more.
I mean, you would think that, but we're a lot of prairies and just empty.
Oh, there's also tundra and
Yeah.
emptiness.
Yep. And we got water. We got lots of water.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Canada's forests cover 347 million hectares of land and make up nearly 9% of the world's total forest area. Canada is the third most forested country in the world by area. Thank you, Google.
Well,
never mind. I guess we are pretty forested. I just assumed it was only Ontario. I guess all of Quebec is forest. Okay, that makes sense.
Final question.
Huge. Sorry.
How do you deal with Bloodlust Rhaegar? Because your opponents try to deal with it with Arthas Slows and more Arthas Slows and a really distant poke comp, and it kind of worked. You didn't get a ton of kills with it, but there were still times where you were just able to make ridiculous engagements out of Bloodlust. So how does a team in general deal with Bloodlust, do you think?
You pick Rhaegar first and take Ancestral.
This is accurate. When we get Rhaegar for Sullen, he still takes Ancestral, like, just out of muscle memory, even if we tell him to take Bloodlust.
It'd be
you know
like
what?
only
You
90% of the
It's a
time.
coin flip.
You don't even need to make that thought anymore. If you just set up Bloodlust as your favorited one and hit the new hotkey for it, it'll just pick it automatically. No thought needed.
I'm not ready for that commitment.
Extra buttons for Sullen? Oh no. He was happy when Piano Uther died.
I was happy when Piano Uther died because it was too many buttons. 8 buttons on Uther. It was ridiculous. All right, that's all I've got for questions. I think this series. Actually, no, because this is playoff implications. Now I need to look at them. So with that domination, you went from 13 points to 16 points, which puts you into 7th place, just over Boogan Squad, with 1 match remaining. What is that match that you have left, and how are you going to approach that series?
That match that we have left is Die for Vision. And we have a running competition with Die for Vision too, for who can get the most diverse hero pool by the end of the season.
Okay.
So that one's going to be a fun one, because it's going to be us trying to balance. Okay, we have to win to make sure we make it into playoffs still, because we don't want to take any chances in that regard.
You both currently have 44 heroes played, by the way.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And well, I think we added Muradin, and I think we added Ragnaros tonight.
I was just about to say they do have 1 match played over you, so you might have snuck in on them just a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I think we'll use that advantage to secure 1 map, and then after that we'll fully commit to the challenge.
Alrighty, well, thank you for coming in for this post-game interview. I'm gonna give it to the pair of you to do any shout-outs that you want to give.
I'll let Solon go first if he has any.
Yeah, shout out to Cass. It was fun. It was very entertaining to watch. I get to watch. I mean, he has no idea what you said about him, but I know what you said about him. Oh.
I mean, if Durotan's Couch is anything like Lurk Patrol, they just won a series, so now they get to watch it and bask in the post-match win glow.
Mm-hmm. But that one thing you said about his, I don't know. I was gonna make up something, some familial relation or something.
Improv skills at work. I guess your improv.
But no, we really appreciate it. Shout out to the team. We have a fun team this year. We've had like a sort of a core of 5 people since the beginning, you know.
Yeah, and Durotan's Couch is one of the only teams remaining from season 1, I think.
The only team.
The only team that's made it every season.
Yeah,
sorry. Lurk Patrol has been around the entire time.
Right.
We've played every season.
Yes.
But this year it's been a lot of fun to like bring some new people in and have like a little bit more extended roster, and so I don't have to play every game and carry these guys. Like my back was tired. I'm old. You don't understand. I'm called Grandpappy for a reason.
If you don't mind my asking, how old are you?
147.
Oh wow!
On a good day.
Congratulations.
No, I'm 35, so I'm just hanging on. I'm definitely old by esports standards.
That is ancient in esports years.
Yeah, absolutely. But anyway, shout out to Wedge. I mean, I give him a hard time, but he's a good captain, and yeah. And I'll give the floor to Wedge.
Of course, thanks to you, Hector. It's really nice whenever you pick up the cast. It's always nice to watch those back, even when we lose. Don't worry, it's not just when we win.
But that's okay.
How much does Ace pay you to do it?
Be biased. You know what? He actually messaged me beforehand and said I should really pick up one of your games because this is what now the third time you've picked up one of mine, even though we didn't play tonight. That's okay.
He definitely owes you back. Huge shout out to Boogan Squad. Really chill to hang out with those guys, even in the middle of all the pauses and stuff. Felt bad for Cambelas and having all the DC issues. That's normally our thing, so we know how much that hurts. Yeah, our sympathies.
It served them right for beating you that badly in Game 1 of the Soul Lane, though. Am I right?
Yes, it did feel slightly cathartic, but that's what the beer and the drinks were for. So.
Oh yeah. Definitely pop open a cold one with the boys after that.
In the middle of that. Oh, I died. Okay, time to grab a beer. And yeah, just in general, Boogan Squad did a really good job against us tonight. They did a really good job of mitigating any advantage we had, and on Dragonshire they were running a proper clinic too. So well done to them. And then Twitch chat, really nice to hear Lulu and the others all stopping in to watch us. Only Black Cat, I hope you were there the entire time, even if Ektar doesn't notice you. Yeah. Thanks a bunch, guys.
147 years, but actually 35. That's Snoopy Dog years because the multiplier is 4.20.
Does that math work out? Because if it does, I'm gonna claim ownership.
35 times 4.2. 147. Oh my God, Joel.
I meant it.
Improv coming in.
Shout out to your compatriot Seventh Ace for doing the quick maths on that one.
Yeah.
All right, you guys get out of here, you little scamps. We gotta wrap up the stream and stuff.
Have a great night, Ektar.
Thank you so much. Bye.
All right, y'all, that's going to be it for the cast tonight. And for once, I actually know who the raid target is because I can see that my good friend Murda RG, short for Regen, is casting right now in NGS match that hopefully goes on into game number 3. But we're going to get the raid started in big fast MURDARG. We're going to hit the start raid button, and we're not going to wait any time. This is just going to be... as soon as it's ready, we're gonna go out of here, and I appreciate you all for coming by. I appreciate the absolutely nothings coming out from everybody, and I appreciate everyone who showed up and has been following. Thank you so much. It really makes what I do here a lot more fun, having people interact in the chat, because as fun as it is talking into a void, talking not into a void is more fun. So once again, thank you everybody, and bye bye.